Did you know Poland once dunked on the Russians during the period between the world wars? This overlooked event proves the great military power Poland had and that they got unlucky in World War II. The Polish-Soviet War, fought from 1919 to 1921, was a pivotal conflict in the aftermath of World War I. Fought between the newly re-established Second Polish Republic and the evil Soviet Russia, the war represented not only a clash of nations, but also a significant ideological confrontation between nascent Bolshevik communism and Polish nationalism. The war's outcome had lasting implications for both countries and the broader European political landscape. It reshaped the borders of Eastern Europe, altered the trajectory of Soviet foreign policy, and demonstrated the complexities of post-war national self-determination. The roots of the Polish-Soviet War can be traced back to several intertwined political, ideological, and historical factors. To fully understand the conflict, it is essential to examine the circumstances leading to the war. The end of World War I saw the collapse of three empires, the German, Austro-Hungarian, and Russian, that had previously partitioned Poland in the 18th century. With the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, Poland re-emerged as a sovereign state after 123 years of non-existence. However, the borders of the newly formed Second Polish Republic were yet to be firmly established, particularly in the east, where they conflicted with the territorial aspirations of Soviet Russia. In Russia, the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917 had dismantled the old Tsarist regime, leading to a civil war between the Bolshevik Red Army and various anti-Bolshevik white factions. The Bolsheviks aimed to export their communist ideology beyond Russia's borders, envisioning a domino effect that would spark global proletarian revolutions. In their view, controlling Poland was crucial for accessing Germany, where they hoped to inspire a socialist uprising. In the chaotic aftermath of World War I, Eastern Europe was characterized by a power vacuum and intense nationalism. Several ethnic and national groups sought self-determination, leading to conflicts over territory and governance. Poland aimed to reclaim lands historically associated with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, including regions inhabited by Ukrainians, Belarusians, and Lithuanians. Meanwhile, the Soviets aimed to reclaim territories lost by the Russian Empire and spread communism. Józef Piłsudski, the chief architect of Polish independence and leader of the Polish state, envisioned a federation of Międzymorze, Intermarium, a coalition of Central and Eastern European nations led by Poland to counterbalance Russian and German influence. This ambition put Poland in direct opposition to Soviet objectives and influenced Poland's military strategies and territorial demands. The Polish-Soviet War was marked by several significant military campaigns and political maneuvers. The fluid and shifting nature of the conflict often saw dramatic changes in momentum between the two belligerents. The war officially began in early 1919, as skirmishes erupted over disputed territories in eastern Galicia and Volhynia. Both Poland and Soviet Russia were preoccupied with other conflicts, Poland with the Polish-Ukrainian War, and the Soviets with their civil war. As a result, the conflict initially consisted of minor engagements, as both sides sought to solidify their positions. In late 1919, the Polish forces captured Vilnius and began pushing into Belarus and Ukraine, seeking to establish control over these contested regions. The Soviets, recovering from setbacks in the Civil War, viewed these actions as aggressive encroachments on their sphere of influence. In April 1920, Poland launched a major offensive aimed at capturing Kiev, allying with the Ukrainian People's Republic, led by Simon Petliura. Piłsudski's goal was to create a buffer state against Soviet Russia and support Ukrainian independence. The offensive initially succeeded, with Polish and Ukrainian forces capturing Kiev in May 1920. However, the Soviet response was swift and powerful. The Red Army, led by the capable General Mikhail Tukhachevsky, launched a counteroffensive that pushed Polish forces back. By June, the Soviets had recaptured Kiev and advanced towards Polish territories, reversing the gains made by Piłsudski. The turning point of the war came with the Battle of Warsaw in August 1920. The Soviet advance threatened Warsaw, the Polish capital, aiming to strike a decisive blow that would open the path to Germany and potentially ignite a broader communist revolution. The Polish defense, under the leadership of Piłsudski and General Tadeusz Rozwadowski, orchestrated a strategic counteroffensive that became known as the Miracle on the Vistula. Utilizing a combination of tactical deception, intelligence breakthroughs, and effective troop movements, the Polish forces managed to encircle and defeat the Soviet forces near Warsaw. The victory at Warsaw not only saved Poland from Soviet occupation, but also marked a significant defeat for the Bolsheviks. The Red Army retreated, and the momentum of the war shifted decisively in Poland's favor. Following the Battle of Warsaw, Polish forces pushed the retreating Soviets eastward, regaining lost territories. Despite attempts by Soviet commanders to regroup and mount a defense, the Polish advance continued. By early 1921, both sides were exhausted and recognized the need for peace. Negotiations began in Riga, Latvia, leading to the Treaty of Riga, signed on March 18, 1921. The treaty established new borders, with Poland securing significant territories in modern-day Ukraine and Belarus, while also ending hostilities between the two nations. The Polish-Soviet War's conclusion had significant ramifications for both Poland and Soviet Russia, as well as the broader European geopolitical landscape. The Treaty of Riga resulted in substantial territorial gains for Poland, which included parts of Galicia, Volhynia, and Belarus. These areas were ethnically diverse, housing significant Ukrainian, Belarusian, and Jewish populations. While Poland achieved its territorial ambitions, the incorporation of these diverse groups led to complex issues of national identity and integration within the newly established borders. For Soviet Russia, the defeat marked a significant setback. The Bolsheviks failed to extend their influence into Poland and beyond, leading to a reevaluation of their revolutionary strategies. The war exposed vulnerabilities within the Red Army and prompted a shift in Soviet foreign policy towards a more cautious approach, focusing on consolidating power within Russia and building socialism domestically. The Polish-Soviet War influenced the political dynamics of interwar Europe. It highlighted the volatility of the region and the persistent threat of communist expansion, reinforcing the importance of national sovereignty and self-determination. The war also underscored the complexities of ethnic and national identities, setting the stage for future conflicts over border disputes and minority rights. For Poland, the victory solidified its independence and territorial integrity, albeit at the cost of ongoing ethnic tensions. The war also contributed to the development of Polish military doctrine and fostered a sense of national pride and resilience. For Soviet Russia, the war served as a sobering lesson in the challenges of exporting revolution through military means. It reinforced the importance of domestic consolidation and ideological flexibility, shaping Soviet policies in the years leading up to World War II. Today, many people forget about the Polish-Soviet War, but it was in fact a key part of history and significantly impacted Eastern Europe's situation going into World War II, from geography and power to foreign policy. Personally, I think Poland should have won and took all of Russia, but perhaps that will happen in the future. Dziękuję. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, or the evil Soviets will start a war over your residence.